All right, Ryan, today we continue the series with Chris Dailey, and that is the associate head coach of UConn women's basketball. It's Phil and Ryan. Listen up. Ryan, I tell you what, it's about 79 degrees right now on this last day of June, Ryan. And you told me this morning when I called you, man, Phil, the summer's going by quick. You only have July and August, and then the public swimming pools will be shutting down. That I could have swore, Ryan, it was just the other day that the covers were coming off of the swimming pools.
Yeah, it just seemed like it was the beginning of June and we were getting ready to go swimming and summer was just starting and now seems like it's getting ready to end already. So it's crazy how time flies by, but we're having fun on this podcast. We've been having fun the whole month of June. So I guess time goes by pretty fast when you're having fun.
Well, I guess it does too. And with that said, Ryan, we do have a lot to cover over this series, and we'll get right down into it. Chris Dailey, associate head coach of UConn women's basketball, 36 seasons in Stores, which is the Hall of Fame associate head coach. And it says that she has been instrumental in building UConn to an unmatched national power with head coach Gino Auriemma. The duo has led the Huskies to 11 NCAA championships and 53 conference titles. 53, Ryan. I mean, some people can't do that in a matter of 2 or 3 lifetimes, let alone one.
Yeah, and I think
So
it's
you know that Chris Dailey. What do you have for me?
Yeah, and I think it's 54 after this previous season was ended. Of
Yeah,
course, they won it again this season. So it's just crazy what Chris Daly and Gina have accomplished together. I think 37 seasons. So I think this season will be their 38th year together since 1985. Just unreal. Like you mentioned, 11 national titles, 6 perfect seasons as well. So that's just crazy in and of itself. But Chris Daly plays a huge part in why the UConn Huskies have been so successful. She's a coordinating of recruiting, which is one of the main reasons why UConn is so good in the first place, because they continue to be a powerhouse every single year because of their highly talented recruiting classes. We
yeah.
talked about that before. College, you need to have those consistent recruiting classes coming in, new young talent every single year, and that's what UConn does so good. And it seems like they always get top 5, top 10 recruits, or like we've seen next year coming in, one in the 30 to 40 range. So they find some diamonds in the rough sometimes. But Daly was one of the first assistant coaches as well to earn a spot in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2018. She was also inducted into the Connecticut Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2013. So she's accomplished quite a lot of things along with Gino here in Stores, Connecticut. And someone mentioned this in the comments. I wanted to make sure I mentioned this on today's show about Daly stepping in as head coach. She has a 12-0 record during her time stepping in for Gino, including leading the Huskies to the Big East tournament title in 1989 while Gino was out serving a suspension. So all UConn fans know how much Chris Daly does for the UConn Huskies every single year. She doesn't get near as much recognition as Gino, but the work and effort she puts into this team, helping Gino build this dynasty up for the past 37 years, has just been truly incredible.
Yeah, and I asked you before we came on. I was like, Ryan, do you think that once Gino is done, of course, UConn fans don't want to even think. We don't even want to think about this, but the days when Gino is finished and enjoying his time, where in like Key West, Florida, or what, right out on the beach, Bayside, riding his boat around and fishing, and retirement, that R word that we talked about. We don't like to say it often. But once his time is up, I was like, Ryan, do you think that this associate head coach, Chris Daly, will actually step into his place and take over as head coach? Like, I don't know about that, Phil. She's been there 36, 37 years. So,
Yeah, the same amount of
well,
time as Gino. Yeah.
I didn't realize, that she is stuck beside of him that long, and that's pretty amazing to even have. I mean, let alone a head coach that long, but then an associate head coach. So you and I may be right. That experience, that time together may really matter to some sports programs and franchises.
Yeah, I mean, they've been together since 1985. They came in together and program with only one conference title, and and now they have 54 of them. So it's pretty incredible what they've done together and what they've accomplished. But I mean, it is a pretty good question, and honestly, I mean, nobody knows the answer to it. But if I had to take a shot and guess at it, I would say when Gino leaves, I would assume Chris Dailey would probably leave as well, because they've came in together. I would assume they would go out together and retire together. But I mean, I'm not really sure what the future of UConn would be after that. But I think luckily we still have a good amount of years left to see Gino and Chris Dailey together. Hopefully there's a couple more national championships in there that we get to see out of Gino and Chris Dailey. But Chris Dailey has already done so much for this organization along with Gino. And like I said before, it's just incredible what she's done recruiting all these players and scouting them and helping out Gino and the rest of the assistant coaches over all the years that they've been here, bringing in enormous talent and the transfers as well. I'm sure she plays a big role in getting transfers to UConn as well.
Yeah, that's right, man. I can't stop yawning on this side of town. I don't know. You're getting ready to go swimming later today, so maybe that's where I should be going to just to wake up. Ryan, with that said, again, we put the focus today on Chris Dailey, associate head coach, UConn women's basketball, and hats off to her whenever she retires, because what a job well done, huh? With that said, we will get into UConn Huskies land 2023 recruit Cadence Samuels comments for Ryan, and we'll start out with Gary. Being real, that is a good recruiting by UConn coaches. This girl can play. I said players are coming to UConn one by one. Well, we know they are.
Yeah,
That's been the story for what, Ryan? 10, 20 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been a pretty good pattern for about the
Yeah.
past decade. Like we mentioned in this episode already, that's a big thanks, and it goes a huge part in what Chris Dailey does. And I'm sure she had a big role in telling Gino about Cadence Samuels. And I'm sure Samuels, she'll be a great player. I can't wait to watch her come in with KK and Ayana next season, and hopefully at least one of them, if not two, or possibly all three, get on that U18 team like we've seen Ice Brady do this season. They won the gold medal. I don't think we've mentioned that. So congrats to the USA team for bringing back another gold medal to the USA. But Ice Brady had a pretty good season on the USA team. Had fun watching the highlights of those games, and now, of course, she's in summer camp with Stores. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait to watch Cadence Samuel. She seems like she could be a pretty good diamond in the rough, and I think a lot of teams are going to regret not taking a couple extra looks at her.
John Ippolito. Hey guys, great show as usual. I just want to know if you guys are following Lee's players, and is UConn in the hunt to recruit 1, Blanca Thomas, 2, Sierra Tomey, 3, Riley Stack?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't really keep up with the recruiting that much. I'm always looking at new articles that are coming out about UConn and see if there's any breaking news that we can cover. But I know Grobel said the other day that he keeps updated with it, and he keeps us updated, and
He keeps us updated with a lot. We thank
yeah,
him.
he commented about Cadence Samuels, and we got on that one pretty quick. But we should pay more attention to the recruiting and the transferring process. Of course, we got on Lou Lopez pretty quick. I caught that one, and we went on. And I know you guys love that, and you love Lou Lopez around here. But yeah, I mean, I'll have to keep more attention to after this off season over, about the recruits, the possible recruits that are coming in 2024 or 2025 range.
Grobel. All right, we'll go ahead and read both of Grobel's comments. It looks like both of them are pretty long, we appreciate it. We haven't heard from him in a while. UConn non-conference schedule update. They added Northeastern November 10th and Princeton at home December 8th. Princeton are coached by UConn alum Carla Baribe. They also had dates for all the games except Tennessee. The South Carolina game canceled last season will be added to the end of the current contracted series. UConn will play South Carolina away 2 years in a row, 23, 24, and 24 and 25 seasons.
Yeah, I mean that should be pretty exciting. I did see where the non-conference schedule came out yesterday, and I took a look at that. So should be a pretty exciting season. Of course, there's really not that many surprises in terms of the non-conference because we went over a good amount of the teams already throughout the course of these episodes throughout the all season. Florida State, Tennessee, obviously South Carolina being a huge one. So it should be a pretty exciting season. We're pretty excited to see, especially the newer teams outside of non-conference that we don't get to see a lot. We really don't know what to expect out of them. But I can't wait until UConn plays South Carolina. That's going to be such a great game. I can't wait for that rematch.
Talking about Paige's class with Nika and Aaliyah, they all technically have an extra year of eligibility because of COVID. I could see Paige possibly using it since WNBA salaries are not very much. 72,000 first year under the new collective agreement. She is making a lot on NIL, reportedly 1 million plus, and that will just keep going up. There's nothing she can't really do endorsement wise in college under the new rules as WNBA. She would miss 72,000 for a year. However, if she won a championship in that extra year, her endorsement stock would rise even more, way more than 72,000 missed out on. I know there is a possibility of injury. However, they probably took out insurance on her. College football players with high potential do it now for 10 to 15 million if they are projected to be a high draft pick. And that was Grobel again.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I'm glad you mentioned that because we were discussing that the other day. We weren't sure whether Paige and that class would get another year because of COVID, but I guess they do. So it's kind of going to be interesting to see what happens over the next course of these 2 years for Paige's junior and senior year, in terms of whether they get back to the national championship and win it. See whether Paige wants to enter the draft. I'm, everybody knows she's going to be a pretty high pick unless something drastic happens where she gets injured again. We pray nothing like that happens to any of the players, but yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see whether she uses that extra year of eligibility for college, and that's something too we haven't really brought up. We talked about how there's not that many teams in the WNBA. It obviously doesn't get the recognition they deserve and all the players deserve, but they really don't get paid a lot, especially compared to just about every other men's professional sport out there. So it's really just a disgrace when you think about how much the players get paid, and in contrast to some of the NBA players probably make, in terms of the WNBA players make it over the course of the year. Probably some of the men's players in the NBA make that over the course of a couple games in the season. So it really is kind of a disgrace at some point when you look at it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Paige does.
And then Jean Moore's Dorka had announced her intention to come back for next year during a YouTube interview well before her injury. In my last comment, I failed to tell you that Shay Ralph served as an assistant coach for UConn and for 13 years, 2008 to 2021, and was replaced by Elliott when she took the head coaching position at Vanderbilt and is there at present.
Yeah, I did see that when Ralph got replaced by Elliott, and then she went to Vanderbilt. So good luck to her at Vanderbilt. I know their program on the men's and women's side hasn't been, what a lot of people thought it might be. They kind of been struggling on the men and women's side the past couple of years. So hopefully for her, good luck to her. Hopefully she can turn it around. But I know we've been talking a lot about Dorka. Can't wait for her, for us to have our own episode on her and talk about her because I know you're very high on her this season, and I think a lot of people are too. So I can't wait to see what she brings to the table for UConn this season.
Why don't you try to reach out to him? Just bring her right on the show. We don't
Yeah.
have to worry about doing our research or anything. We just ask her straight up front. How
Yeah.
is it? How you doing?
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Tom Kibbe, great show. Two things stick with me about Miss Samuels, her height and mixture of skills, and then the 35 ranking. I agree that I think her rank seems low. I suspect we may see that get better during this year.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we could see it rise up at the next year for a senior year in high school, and I think that would make a lot of teams even more kind of upset at themselves that they didn't offer Cadence Samuels a deal. But UConn jumped on that pretty quick, so I'm very excited that Gino and company offered her a scholarship. Can't wait to have her. And I think that's very important because I think that's something that Gino and Chris Dailey really liked is her size as a big guard that can defend and rebound and also shoot the outside shot. So she's definitely a very, very exciting talent. Can't wait to see her in a UConn jersey.
Always great to see good additions to the team. Like with every player, time will tell how good they are.
Yeah, I mean, only time will tell.
And that was Iva. I want to give that credit, that comment. That was Iva.
Yeah, and only time will tell. And we really don't know. And we talked about this before about the transfers in college. You can kind of go to the transfer portal and see what offers you get and come back to the school if you don't like any of the offers you receive from other schools. But we certainly hope that every player that comes to UConn is work out fine. And get the minutes they deserve and kind of work up to maybe possibly a starting lineup role and really see them kind of blossom under Gino and company and at UConn. But you really just never know what could happen. Like we said before, not all players, kind of expect, kind of get the role they're expecting when they come to UConn, but doesn't always work out for everybody. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see over these next couple years with all the talent that UConn's bringing in to see what kind of roles that they get on the team.
Well, that'll do it, Ryan. It's been one heck of a series so far. And to cap it off, who is last but not least.
Yeah.
And that's the legend. That's the legend. It's arguably the best ever. Actually combined. How about that? Combined between WNBA and women's college basketball. Gino Auriemma to cap off this part of the series, and then we eventually move on to the full roster, every single player, and even. Well, I tell you what, we had episodes on the recruits, so just this will be the active roster, right? Just the players that are coming in. I guess you know what, Ryan, and with that said, I didn't think about it, and I'm sure you want to. Even though we already had episodes on these recruits coming in, I guess we'll have to give them their second video because we did make a promise to everyone that we will be doing all active players on the 22 and 23 roster.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be fine with me. Why not? Let's give another episode, talk about their roles on the team, what we expect from them, all that good stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And with that said, we appreciate Austin Anita so much, Ryan, for him running the sticks in the background and what he has done for us. We can't thank him enough. And guys, go actually visit his website, High Chroma. That's High Chroma. It looks like highchroma193.com. If that website is still up and running, and go. He has his own clothing brand. He sells everything from his shoes, shirts, hats. I know you've been interested in getting maybe a bag from him, a High Chroma bag. Maybe you can carry it down to the swimming pool with all your stuff in there this summer.
Yeah, I need another bag. My other one, the stuff was melting off of it. I had stuff on my hands when I got in the swimming pool, so I'll have to check out his website, check out his merch, and buy a couple of things from him.
Well, I tell you what, Ryan, this is unfortunate, I guess, for some of our viewers, followers. I guess you might like this news. Per Austin Anita, no podcast until July the 5th. Okay. With that said, Ryan, I want to thank you for a very, very successful month of June. And we want to take a wrap right there and thank everybody for tuning in, watching us, continuing their support. We know it's not easy, around your all schedules, but Ryan, they still find a way around their busy schedules. And I suspect a lot of people up there in Connecticut that are watching us around their busy schedules, where they have kids, whether they are single moms, whether they have the married life, whether they work 12-hour shifts, they still continue to tune in and watch us.
Yeah, I mean, we really can't appreciate it and thank all of you guys enough for the support you've shown us ever since we started covering the UConn Huskies. You watch us throughout the season, all the game recaps, and appreciate you guys sticking to us throughout this off season. We know it's a long off season, but we're trying to rip out and produce videos for you guys, trying to bring you guys the latest news, new ideas. So we really do appreciate all of you guys sticking to the channel, subscribing to us, liking the videos, and of course the comments. We really appreciate all the comments. Try to read all of them, and I try to respond the best I can to all of them. So really, thank you guys very much.
And Ryan, just one last thing. I know that I will see you on Sunday. I can't wait. With that said, we won't be back until Tuesday. Take a second and reflect on this. Let the freedom fought for us by the heroes of this country never be in vain. Let us all work hand in hand to protect it. And God bless America, and happy 4th of July, Ryan, to all the beautiful people of this great country. It's Phil and Rye on Listen Up.